lesson number 6. In this lesson, we are going to deal with Excel formulas. So we'll see. Right. Here it is given student names and their marks for maths, science, and English. So first it is asking calculate the total marks for each student, sum. When you are calculating the total marks, you have to use the formula. We are calling it as sum. So what you have to do is you have to click on the cell where you want and click FX. To insert a formula, you have to click FX. Then the formula sum, function sum, you have to use and click go. Then you can find the formula, what you want, the function you want. Then click OK. And then it is asking the range, what you want to calculate the sum. Then click here and select the range what you need and then press enter. Then click OK. Then it has calculated the total marks for sum. Then you can drag this one, drag and drag. By using this handle, you can drag, then it will apply to all students. Because in Excel, when we are calculating sum here, can you see sum C6 to E6? This is C6, C6 to E6. This is E6. Can you see? But if we drag this from 1 below, then automatically the formula will also get changed. We are calling in Excel, this is as relative reference. So when if we put the formula here and if we drag and drop to the below cell, then what will happen? Automatically it will take these two figures here, C6 to E6, and the answer will calculate on F6. But if I drag this to F7, then automatically the calculation also for C7 to E7. Earlier it is C6 to E6. But if I drag the answer by one cell down, then the calculation, the calculated cells are also dragging by one cell automatically. So by using this feature, you can put the formula for only one cell and then you can drag to the other cells. So this is how we are calculating the total. Then calculate the average marks for each student. Average. You have to use the function average to calculate the average. So what we have to do is click here, then go to FX because we need to insert a function. Then we can use average. Average. You have to type here and click go. Then click OK. Now it's asking for which numbers you want to calculate the average. So I want to calculate the maths, science, and English marks, the average. Then I am selecting, I am click here, then selecting this data set and then click or press enter, then OK. So average had calculated. Then you can drag. Right. Then it is asking calculate the maximum total marks a student earned. Now we want to calculate who got the maximum total marks. Which student? This is a small list, so we can manually, by looking at this list, we can tell who got the maximum marks. This student, 277, Grace. But if this is a very huge list, you can't find it by manually. Therefore, we have to use a formula. So how to do this? We will click on a cell where we need the answer and go to formula fx, then max. This is the function. Go. Then you can find the max function, click OK. Then it is asking for which number range you need to calculate the maximum value, right? So I want to calculate the total maximum value for total. So I'll select this range, click here and select the total marks. Then, okay, 277 is the maximum marks a student got. Right. So then count the number of students. Sometime we maybe need to count how many students are there. So I want to calculate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. There are 15 students. So how I will take this using a formula. So click on this cell, go to again function. Then this time the formula or the function is count, COUNT. Then search count, click OK. Then it is asking for which range you need to calculate the count. If you are selecting the student names, then it will not work, because this count function will only work with numbering format cells. That is why I told you previously, when you are entering data to a cell, it is very much essential to format the cells in correct format. So these cells formatted using name format or general format. So this function will not work for these cells. Therefore, it is only the count function is only working with numerical cells. Therefore, you can't select this range. For that, you have to select this range mark. If you want, you can select maths marks or science marks or English mark. You can select this range to find the number of student and click OK. Then 15, right? Then it is asking, right now, there is another table. It's given the number of matches played by a cricketer. So he's played 50 matches. In these 50 matches, he played test matches and one-day matches. Test matches denoted by T and one-day matches O. Then this is the scores he got. The first match, he got 8 runs and it is a test match. And the second match, it is a one-day match. He scored 25. Then third match, it's a test match and he scored 45 marks, 45 runs. And the fourth match, he scored 100 and it's a test match. Fifth match, he scored 105. It's a test match. Likewise, the type of match is mentioned here and runs he scored mentioned in this column. And this is the which match he played the score. So there are 50 matches and 50 scores and 2 types, test matches and one-day matches. So now it is asking, calculate the total runs scored for this player, only the match he scored above 50. Now, this is a little bit difficult because it is not asking just to calculate the total runs he scored. There is a one condition. It's asking to calculate the total number of runs he scored, but only the matches he scored above 50. So when there is a condition, then we have to use if. So now here it is asking a sum. Then with if we have to use sum function. So we'll see how to do this. Calculate the total runs scored for this player. Only the matches he scored above 50. So how to calculate this? I am selecting this cell because I need the answer here. Then go to fx. Then I am try to find some if function. Yes, the sum if function is there. Then click OK. Then it is asking the range, criteria range, because from which range you are trying to give the criteria. So what is the criteria? Above 50. And what we want to do, we want to sum. So we'll select here, then select this score range, right? Then what is the criteria? Above 50, scores above 50. So 50 above. Then sum range. If we got more than 50 runs, we have to sum the runs he scored above 50. So what is the sum range? This data set. Right. Then click here, then click OK. Right. Something happens there. Fx range. We have to select this range, scores. Then criteria. Greater than 50. Then the sum range. This is the sum range. Then click here and then click OK. So the total number of runs he scored for the match he scored above 50, 3,424. Then calculate the total runs scored for this player, only the matches he scored above 50 in test matches. Now there is two conditions. Now it is asking to calculate the total number of runs he scored, but two conditions, above 50 and only the test matches he played. So if there are two conditions with the calculation, then we have to use if s function. So sum if s, because we want to get the summation, and there are two conditions, because the sum of the calculate total runs scored for this player, only the matches he score above 50 in test matches. It should have to be test matches and he should have to score above 50. Then only the scores get summed. Therefore, we'll see how to do this. Select the cell, then fx. Now what is the function? Sum if s. That function is there. Then click OK. Now it's asked sum range. What you have to, in which range you want to get the summation. So this, because scores runs. Select this range. Then what is the criteria range? From which range you are giving the criteria? First criteria we are going to give from the scores above 50. Then what is the criteria? Greater than 50. Then what is the criteria range 2? We have two criteria. We are selecting the criteria range 2. This is the criteria range 2. Test match or limited door matches. Select. Then click here, and here test match T. Right, now click OK. So can you see? This is the answer. Total runs he scored for the matches above 50 and for the test matches. Then average. Calculate the average runs scored for this player. Only the match he score above 50. So now there is one criteria. Only the matches he scored above 50. We need to take the average. Right. Then click here. The function is average if, because there is a one condition. So we have to use if, and we want to calculate the average. So average if. Average if. Right. Click OK. Then it is asking range. It is very similar to the sum if function. Range, what is the range? Scores. So we are selecting this range. Then what is the criteria? Greater than 50. And what is the average range? We want to get the average for number of runs he scored. Click OK. See, if he scored more than 50, averagely he will score 107 runs. So it is 107. Then it is asking again, calculate the average runs scored for this player. Only the matches he scored above 50 for the test match. Now there are two conditions. We want to calculate the average for the test match he played, and it should have to be, he should have to be scored more than 50. So two conditions are there. Then, like we did for the sum, now average if S. The function is average if S. Average if S. Click OK. Now it's asking average range. What is the range you want to get the average for the runs? Then what is the criteria range? To which range we are giving the criteria? The first criteria we are going to give for the runs above 50. Then what is the criteria range? To test match or one-day matches, type of match. Then criteria range to test match T criteria. Then click OK. Then 121.6154. Count the number of times he scored more than 50 runs. So now we need to count how many matches he scored more than 50 runs. It can be a test match or a limited over match. How many matches he scored more than 50 runs. So to count, we have to use count function, and there is a criteria because the number of matches he scored more than 50. So there is a criteria. Then we have to use count if. Count if. Click here. Then range. For which range we are going to count scores. Then what is the criteria? Above 50. Then click OK. In 32 matches, he scored more than 50 runs. Then count the number of times he scored more than 50 in test matches. Now there are two conditions. It is asking to count how many number of matches he played, how many matches he scored more than 50, but only in test matches. How many times he scored more than 50 runs in test matches. There are two conditions. It should have to be a test match, and he should have to be scored more than 50. Then it should have to be count. So count if S. Count if S. Click go. Function is available. Then criteria range. What is the criteria range first. This is the criteria range. Score should have to be more than 50, greater than 50. And criteria range 2, what is the second criteria? It should have to be a test match, right? Test match. Then click OK. So 13 in test matches, in 13 test matches, he scored above 50 runs. Then it is asking calculate the median run he scored. Median mean madhyaste. When we are arranging the numbers from the scores from lowest to highest and the central value, the middle score. If you are arranging these numbers lowest to highest, and if you are selecting the hari meda අංකය, hari meda score එක, then we are calling it as median. So what is the median? In Excel, we can do this calculation. This is the formula you have to use, median. This is the function, right? So I'm going to click on fx and median and go, and median function is available in Excel. Click OK. Then it is asking range, to which range you want to calculate the median scores, and click and click. Now 73. If we are arranging these 50 matches according to lowest to highest score, then the middle score is 73. Then find the mode. Your spelling is wrong, MODE. Mode mean the highest frequency. වැඩිම වාර ගානක් අරන් තියෙන ලකුණ. So we are going to calculate the highest frequency which he scored. What is the score he scored in highest frequency? So how to calculate? We are using the mode function. Fx, then function mode. The function is available. Click OK. Then it is asking the range. For which range we should have to calculate the mode. This one. Then click here. Then OK. So 105. He scored 105 for 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is the highest frequency score he scored. 105 he scored for 5 times. So this is the mode. Then check the rank of the score of 155 he scored. Now we want to check the rank. There is a score 155. We want to know what is the rank of that score. That means here the 155. This score. අපිට බලා ගන්න ඕනේ මෙයා මේ 155 ස්කෝර් කරපු එක එයාගේ කී වෙනියට වැඩිම ලකුණද කියලා. So we want to check the rank of this score. Right. To do this, first we have to arrange these numbers according to descending or ascending order. So we have to copy this one and paste here. Sorry. We have to copy these numbers. Copy, Control C and Control V. Now we have to arrange these numbers according to ascending or descending order. So we have to sort smallest to largest. Right. Now 155. Right. So we want to check the rank. So click here, click fx. Now rank function. click OK. Then it is asking the range. It is asking the number. So we want to calculate the rank of the 155. So we are selecting this one. And then it is asking the array in which number range we want to calculate the rank of 155. So we are selecting this one and click here. Then click OK. We'll check, wait a minute. Okay, we have to arrange these numbers according to descending order. So we'll select this number range and go to sort and largest to smallest. Now we are arranging these number range in descending order, and now we can check the rank of this 155. So to check the 150 rank of the 155, we are selecting this cell, then we are selecting this cell, then fx. Here we have to select the function rank, rank, then click OK. Then what is the which number you want to check the rank? 155. So you have to select it from the list 155. Then click here. Then what is the reference range? From which range you want to check the rank for 155? Then we have to select the range, right? Then click OK. Now can you see? Is the fifth large score he scored in his matches, 155. The fifth score, right? So then check the standard deviation of the runs he scored. There is a term called standard deviation. You can read from a statistical book what is meant by standard deviation. In here, we can calculate the standard deviation also. So how to calculate? You have to remember this function name, stdev. So stdev, this is the function for standard deviation. This one, okay. Then it is asking the range, for which range we want to calculate the standard deviation. We want to calculate the standard deviation for runs C scored. Then select the range and click OK. The standard deviation is 60.43. Right. Then we'll see this one. Sometime you maybe get list with first name and surname, and it can be a huge list. Sometime maybe the student registration list. Then you get the student first name and student surname, and you want to get the full name. Then what you are doing is you are copying this one and pasting here like this. You are copying this one and pasting it here. Then you are putting a space here, and again you are copy and paste the surname. This is how we are doing this. But in Excel, we can use a formula or function to do this, because if this is a huge list, then it will take very huge time to do this. But by using a function, within few seconds, we can do this. I will show how to do this. Right. So now I am going to combine these two cells, this one and this one. But after combining these two cells, there is no space in between the first name and last name. Therefore, first what we have to do is we have to put a space here, one space. Right. Now, what we can do is we can combine these two columns together. We want to create the full name. So what is the function? Concatenate. So we can use concatenate function to add these two columns together. Fx concatenate, then go, just that function is available in Excel, then click OK. Then it is asking what is the first text, first name. Then it is asking the second text you want to combine, surname. Then click here, then click OK. See, it will combine the two columns together. Now you can drag this one. So this is how we are combining two columns together. And here, sometime you maybe get the full name and you want to divide it into first name and surname. So then you can use this data to text to column function. So how to do this? The full name is there, Neruka Karannagoda, Janaka Amartunga. So we want to divide these full names into first name and surname. If we are doing manually, what we are doing, we are copy this one and paste it here. And again, we are going this cell and copy the surname and paste it in the surname column. So it is very difficult when there is a huge list. So by using a function or using a Excel features, we can do this. So how to do this? I am selecting here, and first you have to select this one, this range, and then data text to column. You have to go to data tab. Then there is a function called text to column. Then keep this as delimit. Then click next. Then it is asking how these full name separated in the first name and surname by using which. So in here it is separated using space. So click here, space, and then click next. Then it will show a sample, and then you can click finish. See, it has separated first name and the surname. If you want to take this here, what you have to do is you have to click here first. No, we'll see. First we have to select these things and then go to data and text to column, then delimit, next, space, next, here, destination, where you want to get the answers. Then you have to select this cell and click finish. Right, now in one shot you separated the first name and surname. So very easily we can do this by using text to column function. Okay, here there is a table. It's given the names, first column, then marks formats, marks for science, and then English marks, then the total marks, then average. Now it is asking to create a column called result 1. Create a column called result, right? It has already created the result column and give as follows, considering the average mark. So if the student got average marks above 50, then he is pass. If not, he is fail. So it's a condition. Then when we are dealing with conditions, always we are using if function. So we click on fx. First you have to select the cell, then click fx, and now in fx click OK. Then what is the logical test here we need to give? What is the logical test? If this value is greater than 50, then he is pass. If not, fail. Then click OK. So if the average marks above 50, then he is passed. Then if not, he is failed. Then you can drag this one to the whole list. Then very quickly it will calculate it. This is little easy, but calculating the grade is little bit difficult. But if you remember the style, then it is very easy. How to do this? First click on this cell, and first we will go with the function what we know, the if function. So click on here, then if, then OK. Then we are giving the logical test. If average marks is greater than 75, because here it is telling what we have to do is create a column called grades and gives as follows, considering the average mark. If a student got above 75, the grade is A. If he got above 65, then the grade should have to be B. Then if he scored more than 55, he will obtain a C grade. If he scored more than 45, then S. More than 35, E. Less than 35, then fail. So there are not one criteria, it's only one criteria, but different grades. Then first we are giving what the function what we know. Logical test grades G6, that means average marks is greater than 75, then A. If not, if it's below 75, then we are putting it as E, fail. After giving this function, now you can modify this. Now it's only come A and F. If it's above 75, then A. If it's below 75, fail. But we want to give above 75A, above 65B, above 55C, above 45S, above 35E, and if not, below 35F. So now we gave the function what we know here. Now we can modify this one. Just you have to copy and paste from here to here. Right? Understood? And copy, and you have to paste it here. Now you have to change above 675A, above 65B. Just you have to change these things. P. Again, paste what you had copied. Above 55, then C. Again, paste here. Above 45, then S. Above 35, again paste here. Above 35, then E. If not, F. Now you should have to put the correct number of brackets here. It starts from a black bracket and should have to be end with a black bracket. So insert the bracket till it comes to a black bracket, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4. Now it's black. So now the formula is completed and you can enter. Now see, this student, someone got 60 marks. That means it's above 55 and it's C. It's correct. So now you can rank. So this is how you are getting the grades for the student marks. Then in next example also given the same table, name, maths mark, science mark, English mark, total and average. And this time they are telling us to do little bit different thing. So then they are asking, create a column called result one, and give as follows, consider the subject marks. Now they are not asking to consider the average marks. They are asking to consider the subject marks. Math, science, and English above 50, then he is passed. To get a pass, he should have to score for the all three subjects above 50. So maths, science, and English, he should have to score above 50. So how to do this? The function we are knowing for criteria is if function. So we'll start from the if function, then we can modify the formula. So click here if then what is the logical test? First we'll take only maths mark. If it's greater than 50, then he is pass. If not, he is fail. Then click OK. Now we can expand this formula because he should have to get above 50 for maths, science, and English to get a pass. So we'll see how to do this. Now you can put here and 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 open bracket, then C28, that means maths marks above 50, then pass. Now you can insert the other marks as well. Here science greater than 50, then comma English greater than 50, comma, then pass, if not fail. Now fill the brackets, only one bracket needed, then click enter. I think we have to put the bracket here. Now it's need one more bracket here. Right. Now see, this is the formula and enter. Fail because he scored science 65, English 70, but maths below 50. See this student, she scored more than 50 for all three subjects, so he is passed. Now create a column called result2 and give following considering the subject marks. Now if he should have to be passed, then he should have to score more than 50 for any of these subjects. If he scored 50 or above for one subject, then he is passed. So now we have to give the formula O. Earlier we used N, now we have to use O, because if he scored more than 50 for any of these subjects, he will get through the exam. So how to do this? Start from the basic formula we know. What we had know, it's this if function. So click this one, if, right, then maths marks greater than 50 is pass, if not fail. Now we can modify this formula. So what we have to do, like we did earlier, we have to put O here, O, then open bracket, then maths marks above 50, O, science marks above 50, O, English marks above 50, then close bracket, he is pass, if not he is fail. Pass it. He got 65 and 70 above 50 for both subjects, so he is passed. Only this student failed because he got Below 50 for all three subjects. See, that's why he is failed. All the other students get through the exam. Now there is, you can see another list, name list, and in front of their names, the scores they had taken. But in two field, the scores are missing and mistakenly it had inserted names there. So what is now asking, count and see how many student marks you got. Now we want to calculate how many, count how many student you have, how many students marks with you. So what you have to do, you have to ignore these two fields. If we manually counted, we got the marks for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 students. These two fields are not marks. Therefore, we should have to ignore these two fields. So how to do this? We can use count function first. C-O-U-N-T, count. Go. Okay. Then ask what is the value range. This is the range. Then here click. Then click OK. It's 11. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It is only calculating the numeric numbers as we did previously. But if you want to calculate all the student names, how many students here, then what we should do, because by count function, it will only calculate the numerics numbers. To calculate the how many students are there, then we should have to use count a function. Then it will calculate, it will count the numeric numbers as well as the names, numerics plus names, both. So how to do this? You have to use count a function. C-O-U-N-T-A, count a, then click OK. Right? So select the range. You can select this range. If you are giving count a function, then it will calculate both numbers and words both. Select here. Wait, we'll check what was wrong there. Here it's still the count function. We have to give the count a. So delete it. Give the formula function again. We want count a. Count a. Click OK. Sorry. We need count a. Okay. C-O-U-N-T-A and click go. Then you can select it from here, count a, click OK. Then you have to give the range. This is the range. Now it has calculated both numeric and names, both numbers and names. So now it's showing as 30. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. If you want to calculate the numbers and names both, count. If you want to count numbers and names both, then you have to use count a function. But if you want to count only the numbers in a row by ignoring the names, then you have to use count. Right. Now you can practice these things.